Hey YouTube world, it's me Janelle here and I am back with another video. Of course, why else are we here? Right? Anyway, I feel like a news reporter because I have like no makeup, no nothing in front of me because today's video is not about makeup. So I feel like I'm sitting in my camera and looking at the news. But anyway, enough of joking around. Let's get right to this video. So today's video is going to be so different from what I usually do. It's not about hair or makeup or skincare or anything like that. It is about relationship, marriage specifically. So today I'm going to share 10 tips to a successful marriage. Now, a disclaimer, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm none of those things. However, I have been married for over 10 years, almost 11, and I feel like I've had a little bit of experience, so I can share some with someone else, maybe give them some tips. And so I wrote them all down right here. So I'm gonna look down at my paper and I'm gonna tell you. So my first tip, number one, put God first. In our marriage, we put God at the center of our marriage. So whatever decisions or anything that we have to do, we come together, we pray about it, we talk about it, we take it to God, and then we decide together. But God is always playing a role. We sit down, we pray together, we nourish each other's minds as far as our spirituality goes, so you're constantly reliving and trying to be what God intended us to be. So as for example, the man is supposed to be the protector and take care of the woman, and woman is supposed to be submissive to their husband. I'm not telling nobody to do that because I don't know how your relationship works, but I'm telling you what worked in mine. So if you don't believe in God, for example, people who are atheists and stuff like that, maybe you can like meditate together. I mean, you have to believe in something bigger than yourself. So it can't just be you and us and just on this planet. There's got to be something bigger than us. So yeah, I feel like you can put God first, or put whatever being first, or whatever you believe in, meditate, whatever you need to do together. You need to have some kind of faith, in something other than yourselves. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, be best friends. Listen, your best friend, your girlfriend who's your best friend, that's cool, but your spouse needs to be your best friend. You need to be able to share everything with your spouse. You know what I mean? Like, your spouse should know before everybody else knows. Me and my husband, we're best friends. I have my best friend outside of our marriage, but within our marriage, you have to make your spouse your friend. You can't just be married. That's not enough. You have to be friends. And don't forget to date. That goes hand in hand. When you're starting out to meet somebody, you date them. So when you get married, why are you not dating anymore? You need to continue to date, in your marriage. That's tip number two. Tip number three is keep others out of your business. I can't stress that enough. Keep people out of your marriage. They have nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, you and your spouse took a vow, whether it be male, male, female, female, male, female, whatever the case may be, whatever your orientation is, you took a vow with that person. You didn't take a vow with your friends. You didn't take a vow with your family. You took a vow with your spouse. Keep them out of your business, because you're going to tell your family something that your spouse did that pissed you off, right? And then they're going to be so mad at your spouse. You and your spouse is going to get back together. Y'all going to be fine. But your family members still have that feeling that you left with them. That bad taste in their mouth that you left with them. That's what's going to happen. So keep other people out of your business. Solve your issues within your marriage. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things. Keep others out of your business. That's tip number three. Tip number four, forgiveness and saying you're sorry. Time to put away that pettiness, that strong head. I'm tough and I'm strong and I'm this. Forgiveness is key. Do not hold on to grudges in your relationship. Forgive your spouse, move on. If it's that big of a deal and you can't forgive them, time to get out of that relationship. Forgiveness and saying you're sorry. I had a big problem with this when I first got married. Saying I'm sorry, because I always felt like I was right. I'm right. And I had to learn, no, you're not always right. Say you're sorry to your spouse. They deserve it. They deserve for you to take responsibility for what you did. So say you're sorry is very, very important. Step number 5. Let the man be the head of the household. Now, this is strictly for a heterosexual relationship. Your spouse needs to be leading you. I don't mean that he has to make more money than you. I don't mean that he has to be big and bad. I mean, he is the man. Let the man be the man. You cannot be a man. You was not intended to be a man. You were supposed to be a woman, right? And your spouse is supposed to be a man. Let him lead you and you follow. Now, if your spouse is doing something wrong, of course you can say, honey, I think what you're doing is not right. Let's discuss. But you shouldn't be, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No, that's not how it works. It will never work. Let your husband be the head of the household. Now, for a same-sex relationship, you guys have to figure out what role each of you is going to play. And then if you decide that's the role, then stick to it. I can't speak of that relationship. I can only speak of mine because I am in a heterosexual relationship. Number 6, communication. Number 6, communication. Please communicate with your spouse. If something is bothering you, let him know. If something pissed you off, let him know. You can't just sit there and say, well, he should know. No, he shouldn't. He's not a mind reader. Let your spouse know what's going on. It goes both ways. So if something is wrong, you need to let them know. It is your responsibility. They're not supposed to get in your head and read you. What is that? We're not living in a telepathic world. No. Listen, communication will take you a long way, because something that may be said that was misunderstood, you took it the wrong way, people are offended, people are butthurt, and now y'all ain't speaking. And what did that solve? Absolutely nothing. And communication means don't talk over the person. You talk to listen, Like, it's not selective listening. You listen attentively so you can understand what the person is saying and where they're coming from with their feelings. So, communication. Number 7, respect. Respect. Be respectful of your spouse's feelings. For example, my husband doesn't like when I dress all crazy, which I'm not that type anyway, but he doesn't like if I wear something too revealing. I respect it. Why? Because he's my husband. I'm not out there to attract anybody else. I'm only there to attract him. Now, other people might find me attractive. That's fine. Maybe they don't. That's also fine. But my spouse is the one I said I do to. So when he says, I don't like when you do that, I take that into consideration because his opinion matters to me. Be respectful. Don't disrespect your spouse, and especially don't disrespect your spouse in public. That's a no-no. If you guys are having an argument or a fight, you need to wait until you get home to discuss. I don't mean you need to be yelling and going and carrying on. You need to wait until you get home, discuss the situation, and then you get back to it. Always try to calm yourself down before you go into it, because people often say things they don't mean when they're upset. So try to, calm yourself down and then get back to it. Number 8. I think I mentioned number 8 and number 4 kind of go hand in hand, which is never hold grudges. I make a vow to never go to bed angry. Never, never, never go to bed angry. It doesn't solve anything. And half of the time you wake up, you don't even remember what you were so mad about. So don't hold grudges. It doesn't do anybody any favor. Number 9, money. Money is probably one of the biggest thing. Financial situations is probably one of the biggest thing that split up a marriage. Why? Because people don't discuss that before they enter into a contract. Because guess what marriage is? A contract. So money needs to be talked about, and people need to decide how they want to figure that out. My husband and I personally, We have a joint account and we also have our separate account. Why? Because I am very good with money. My husband is so-so with money. However, together we make a good, strong team. What I do is I put one account where it's us and one account where we're separate. His separate money, his separate account he can use for whatever frivolous, foolish things that he want. And not foolish, whatever hobbies he like. And then I have my account for my hobbies, which is makeup. So therefore we're not taking out of the money that goes into our household, as in the bills and whatever responsibilities we may have. Money doesn't come out of that, joint account. So we have our separate account for stuff like that: birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, whatever. So learn how to financially plan for your future together. This is why it's important to know what your spouse's financial situation is before you get married. Because if you don't do that, you're going to end up in a situation where your spouse may have a 300 credit score and you have a 800, and now guess what? You're one. So his debt become your debt. So discuss all that stuff prior to getting married. Number 10. Oh my God, this list came so fast. No, seriously, number 10. Stop. I think this is probably one of my biggest tips. Stop idolizing other people's relationships. Celebrities, i.e. celebrities. Listen, their relationship is their relationship. Your relationship is your relationship. Water your grass. Let your grass grow. Because the greener grass over there may have some filthy stuff going on underneath. People were shocked and appalled when Beyonce got cheated on by Jay-Z. And they're like, oh my God, lost their mind. Relationships ended. Life ended. Why? Because they were idolizing them and they called them goals. Why are you not calling your relationship goal? Why are you sitting there saying, oh my gosh, such and such is goal? Goals. No, your relationship is goals. The reason why you can't see it is because you're in it. And maybe you're not even noticing the beautifulness of it all. You maybe not noticing how your spouse take the extra 10 minutes out of his day coming home from work to buy you some flowers. Maybe you're not noticing that on your anniversary when he said, I don't want anything, but he still gets you something anyway. Idolize your own. Your relationship is way more important than some celebrities. Because truth be told, half of them is only married because there's not even no love there. Half of them is only married because it's a contract that works for together to mutually benefit them. And not necessarily love, but financially. So you that are broke, and maybe you're broke, and you're still struggling to figure life out, you're like, oh my God, Beyonce's goals are Chris Pratt and his wife. People are shocked when they broke up. It's not what you see, because people put out what they want you to see. So work hard in your relationship. Marriage takes hard work, dedication, and you need to be able to put in that work. If you're not willing to do that, don't get married. Don't waste people's time. Okay? Yeah. And so that was 10 tips, but here's a bonus. Number 11. Be supportive. Me, for example, my spouse is in the military. He travels a lot. He goes on deployments, whatever. What you need to know is he is missing you as probably just as bad as you're missing him, even worse. Because he's probably in a zone where he don't even have any kind of anything. He's just there. Maybe he's in the field. Maybe he's in Iraq. Maybe in Afghanistan. Whatever the case may be, he needs your support. He needs to be able to lean on you. So when he comes back from his deployment, he needs to be able to feel comforted and comfortable knowing that he's coming back to somebody who's been here holding it down for him. Okay, so let's say his spouse is not in the military. Let's say his spouse just go to work, but he comes home and he's exhausted. He don't need to hear no, he needs, hey honey, how was your day? You want to talk about it? You're not a psychologist. You're his spouse. You're his safe zone. You're his that comfort feeling, that feeling of I am here. I'm in my sanctuary. I'm happy. So yeah. So that's my tip. My bonus tip number 11. Always try to be supportive of your spouse. My husband is so supportive of everything that I do. Whether he agrees with it or not, he just be like, babe, you know what? Do what you do. Keep going. You're amazing. You need that kind of encouragement, especially from the one person that you should be getting it from. And your family is your relatives, your spouse, your family, the people that you're born into. Those are your relatives. Your spouse and your kids are your real family. You chose that. You weren't born into that. You chose them, and they chose you. So therefore, you guys need to make it work. That's my tip. Those are my tips for a successful marriage thus far. Like I said, 10 plus, and I'm hoping to make it another 100 years till we both dead. That's my goal, till death. And I really mean that. And take your vow seriously, because it means everything. You made a promise in front of God or the court or friends or family, whoever, that you will love and honor and obey this person for the rest of your life. Now what you need to do is do that. I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes. They do. Learn from them, learn from it, move on, and make the best of your marriage. Trust me, marriage can be really fun and awesome. I love you guys. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. In my next video, I will talk about questions to ask before you get married, honey, because you want this marriage to last and you don't want to jump in there blind. So yeah, that's my next video. Love you guys. I wish you all the best day. Stay beautiful. Be blessed. Peace.